The Digital Circles Podcast, giving a voice to Northern Ireland's business network. Brought to you by Private Label People, with your host, Paul Mooney.
We had Jonny Pierce in with us last week.
We did.
He did his podcast with us. It went down very well. He spoke brilliantly. You can tell it's not the first time he's been podcasting. And Jonny, if you haven't listened to the podcast, go back and listen to it. Pleased to hear Jonny's thoughts on how to get fit, how to have a good mindset, how to get ahead in business. He covers all of those things. But what did you make of him, guys?
I thought he was great. Great, very thorough, great speaker, and clearly cares a lot about what he's doing.
Yeah, I thought it was an excellent podcast episode, and I would advise anybody who is listening to this that hasn't heard it to go back, to circle back. You know, we like that pun. Mm-hmm. The first thing that struck me was that Jonny is a fellow sufferer, in that he supports Everton the same way that I do. So I immediately warmed to him and then immediately felt sorry for him.
That's why he's so motivated.
Yeah.
It drives him on every day. Oh no, don't go home and watch TV tonight. No, he was very, very good. He spoke really well, as you say, Mike. What struck me with Jonny was the realism and the honesty of what he does. A lot of the guys you see online, they're creating, I want to say they're creating a false illusion, but they give
there's a facade, isn't there?
Yeah, there can be, and I thought Jonny was really open with that in terms of, look, he actually said about it himself, you know, he doesn't work out to the level that he used to because he used to put so much effort into how he looked, whereas he's trying to run a business, he's trying to keep fit, he's also, you know, he's got a fiance, and he's got all those things going on, so he was very honest about just how you can look, but what it's going to take to get there. Yeah. And it takes a lot of dedication. He's very, very dedicated to his regime.
I think it becomes a part of his life, a part of his daily routine or weekly routine, as opposed to it being like all or nothing. And I think if you listen to a number of the other guys that you're referring to, it's sort of like it's an all or nothing scenario. Mm-hmm. And whereas that goes for, you know, your physique, your business, and many other areas of life. It's like you can't be doing it 24/7. It's got to be something that is sustainable. And I think he used that word when he was talking about sustainability, and that goes across all of those different sectors.
What I like now, I'm a chap who for listeners there, I'm a chap who is constantly fighting the battle to be in better nick and failing miserably, and I have fallen prey time and time again to looking at these guys online, and they'll take like a one size fits all sort of an approach to exercise and diet, and they'll try this new thing, this is going to sort you right out. And that was the opposite of what Jonny was saying. Very much personalised, very much, you know, everybody's different, and you sit down, you figure out what their goals are, what they're looking to do, and what their reality is, and that I liked a lot.
Yeah, and I think it was like the macro and the micro. You know, the micro there being that everybody is different. Certain things will suit other people's bodies or minds or businesses, but yet the macro side of things is very much all the same. It's very much unison. The same thing goes in business, which I'm sure we'll get into. But I also really enjoyed Jonny going, you know, he didn't hang back on fads and trends and different things, which has become almost synonymous with the world and society, and especially in that workout scenario. You know, he was talking about that 75 hard thing that everybody
sounds horrific.
Yeah, awful. I mean, and it was
maintaining it after 75 days, maintaining it for a day.
Yeah.
You kidding me?
It was refreshing to hear somebody in that industry being so brutally honest about it. And there's nothing about it that has any sustainability. And it is those fads, and you see the people talking about it, and you're like, right, you carry on. And he was honest as well to say, yeah, of course you're gonna lose weight. Of course, Why wouldn't you? But then at the end of it, and we all know people, like I know a number of people who that would be right up their alley. And really, whenever it gets right down to it, they're just looking to talk about it online. They are thumbs up collectors. It's like, how much dopamine engagement can I get on this post, right? So that I feel good about myself, not because of what they're doing, or not because of the routine. It's because of this post. We all know.
Yeah, you need longevity in these things. You need to have the mindset that what you're starting, you're going to keep doing, and there is, plenty of things that Jonny recommended that you can do over the course of time that will just improve your mindset on your fitness. And it can be just changing what you eat, your diet a little bit. It can be even just going for a walk. It can be, if you want to look a certain way, then you're going to have to put a lot of effort in. But if you just want to be maybe a little bit healthier in your mind and feel like you have a little bit more energy and feel a bit stronger, then you actually don't have to do a huge amount. But if you can just do it a little bit at a time, and that saves you doing 75 hard, which I hadn't heard of, but apparently it is quite a thing. I've spoken to other people and they have heard of it, and everybody's in agreement that it will be a very tough 75 days. I take it that's what it is.
And the whole thing will end. Just like the routines of these people, it will end. It's the water bucket challenge, right? That's what it is, going back. But I think too, what Jonny said was really good whenever he said, can you see yourself doing this for the rest of your life? Mm-hmm. And if you put that into what he was talking about, it's like changing a little bit inside the diet. Can you see yourself doing that for either the rest of your life or a long period of time? Yeah, you can. But can you see yourself doing something like that so extreme for the rest of your life? Come on. No. And that's what he was really getting to. And the word sustainability. And he talked into some tips and hints of different things. And it's just those little small changes, which then they take a little bit longer to get the results. But everybody, and I know he talked about one of the first videos that he put out was getting a six-pack or getting abs in 6 hours or whatever it was. It's like that extreme, and that is what so many people are now connected with. This fast, quick, unrealistically fast, and then off the cliff face.
He made me feel guilty, I have to say, because as did Ian Young a couple of weeks before it, I realised how little I do. So I'm going to regret actually mentioning this on air, but I've signed up to his fitness regime, so he's going to be whipping me into some sort of shape, probably.
Could we put in a sound effect there of clapping?
I was going to say the Ulster Hospital sort of shape. But I realised that the only exercise I get now is walking the dogs. That and maybe... does jet skiing, does that count as exercise?
Absolutely.
Well, that's
does in my
jet skiing's your former.
Yeah, that's coming up. That's on the horizon. Bit of jet skiing.
Surreal.
Stand up for the odd wave.
Going out from a morning jet ski.
Yeah, absolutely.
Jet skiing.
Somebody's got to put fuel in the tank. Those fuel drums are quite heavy.
Jet skiing, motorbiking, and darts. That's a routine that anybody needs.
Yeah. All in the one day. Yeah, there's probably people listening going, oh no, he jet skis. There's a lot of people hate jet skiers. Yeah, they make a lot of noise. Well, I know for a fact that there's a lot of people hate jet skiing because if you ever go past somebody fishing on the banks of Loch Earn on a jet ski, they sort of wave their hands at you, but they're definitely holding up 1 or 2 fingers and not very much else.
Can I take the Fifth Amendment on that?
Yeah, still counts as a wave, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's a fisherman's wave. Yeah.
So, can jet skiers hate on fishermen?
That's why not.
Well, can it go both ways?
Sometimes you have to slow down, and it's just what are you doing here?
Well, why would you want to slow down the jet ski?
Yeah. I might just take like a bucket of fish on my jet ski and throw them at them and say, "There, you can go home now." Give it up.
Yeah, need you here. Your day is complete. You've caught your fish. Now let me jet ski.
Anybody that enjoys going down to Loch Earn for a bit of fishing, apologies.
You're
getting in the road.
I also much prefer motorcyclists to standard cyclists.
Oh, I saw this one coming.
I'm definitely on the motorbikers side.
Yeah.
Motorbikers are cool, like.
I try not to get really aggravated with cyclists, but you can't help it sometimes. Even cyclists must get annoyed by other cyclists sometimes when they're in their car. Surely.
That is brilliant. A cyclist driving and getting annoyed at another cyclist, that is the...
I hate you, but I can't hit you. She's shouting abuse at them out the window going, but I do it too, so it's okay. Has to happen.
I think it brings it round to... There's a good sort of circle there of judgment. But I know Jonny was talking about whenever he kind of started, he was, like everybody, a little bit nervous of putting something out onto the internet. Maybe it was his ab video, or he was talking about starting the public speaking and things. But at the end of the day, it's that thing of nobody's listening. And I know that's a very famous line from Diary of a CEO, Stephen Bartlett. I'm sure there's nobody out there type of thing. Can't remember the exact line.
That could be our strap line.
Yeah, could be. Is there anybody out there? But taking that step to sort of say, yeah, I'm just going to do it because I need to make that first move, that first version 1. It's always going to be the worst. You're going to sound odd. You're going to speak too fast. It's not going to be in the right format, whatever else. And then he was talking about the judgment of friends, which can become friends and family. And it's an interesting thing that they do. And I always feel it's like they're just cutting you off at the knees to make them feel a little bit taller. That's what it is. They don't like seeing somebody like Jonny make the move and try to change something, putting out a YouTube video, putting out a podcast recording, standing up on stage, because they can see that he's trying to become better at his business.
Also, you got to remember that I would say it's a very new thing in Northern Ireland, to particularly in Northern Ireland, not just here, but to be willing to stand up and say, "Here, I want to be good at this," and it is happening now. But it's new, so you're still going to get a mixed bag of responses there, and you gotta just push through it.
I know an area you like, Mike, is sort of like the local comedian scene. I like it too.
Yeah.
And you look at those guys, they've had to put their head up above the trench a little bit, and a changing environment, a very much changing landscape. And I think they've been brilliant. People like Shane Todd,
Frank Carson.
Jimmy Cricket.
Every opportunity.
What do you call your man? John, the woman? May McFetridge?
Yeah, all those
trendsetter.
All those new comedians. Or, like Geddes, Paddy McDonald, Kieran Bartlett. They've changed the whole landscape of local comedy. And they're all very different in their own way, but they had to put their head above and go and do something different. And now they're doing sellout gigs in Belfast and beyond.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I think going back to what you were saying there, Michael, as well, is that it's people, we spoke about it at the very start of the podcast, people from here are quite cynical. They like a bit of a whinge sometimes, not all the time, but it's maybe one of the worst climates to self-promote in Northern Ireland, because you just tend to go, look at the state of your man. What's he at?
He thinks he's good at talking.
Yeah, but you know what? The bit that I liked most about what Jonny said was, who was the one person who congratulated him and said, "I seen your video, son, well done." It was his granda. His granda contacted him, because he was probably old enough to know, why should you care? Why should you care about what somebody else thinks? And fair play to you for putting your neck on the line and getting out there. So I like that. I know if it had been me, my granda, I don't think would have been quite as supportive as Jonny's. I think he would have said, "You're getting ahead of yourself. You want to wage your neck in." But I'll just on honesty, my granda used to work with my dad, and they were fitting a carpet once. I'll keep this very quick. But they were working in a surgeon's house, and my granda nicked the telephone wire by mistake when he was cutting the carpet, and my dad did a bit of a patch job to fix it. And when the surgeon came home, my dad, deciding that he should be honest, told him that, look, we nicked your telephone wire, but I
And
fixed
by
it.
nicked, you mean cut, not stole?
No, he cut it with a Stanley knife, which is easily done when you're fitting a carpet. But the surgeon immediately went over and lifted the telephone receiver to see if there was interference on the line, and he could hear a slight crackle. And he proceeded to go into a bit of a meltdown and started giving my dad a really hard time. But my granda was in the background observing, not saying anything, and then piped up with, "Well, it's all right for you, isn't it?" And the surgeon said, "What do you mean?" And he said, "Will you bury all your mistakes?" So when you talk about honesty, he didn't know where to look, I don't think, but there you go. Very good. So if you want to hear more about Jonny, you should, first of all, check out last week's podcast on Digital Circles, but also go to JonnyPierceCoachingLimited.com. Or if you are built for better business, then go to his Built for Better Business page. It's just builtforBetterBusiness.com. So
All the links are down below, Paul, in the description.
they are indeed. So go to those and have a little look.
Let's face it, we're all winners. For your chance to win fantastic prizes from our rolling monthly competition, just head on over to digitalcircles.click/give or follow the link in the description.
Got me thinking actually about fitness. When you go back, there's a lot of guys do it online nowadays, men and women, of course. But back in the day, do you remember the one that came first? I remember being Lizzie Webb was her name, and she had a nickname that I don't think would pass nowadays. Is Mad Lizzie? I think she was on TV AM or something.
You don't think Mad Lizzie would cut the mustard these days?
Mad Lizzie. You'd need to be mad to get up there in your spandex doing exercise on TV, national TV, I suppose. Yeah.
Was she before? Was Selena Scott one? Did she have a nickname, the Green Goddess or something? Because she wore a green outfit, or am I getting names mixed up?
I think these might have been just before I would have been conscious of these ones, you know.
He's younger than us. Very good. Oh yeah, I only remember.
Oh no,
Joe Wicks.
no, my entry to these guys was the sort of genre defining Mr Motivator, obviously.
Derek Redmond.
You know,
What a
With a
guy.
great suit, the multicoloured, which somebody actually referred to him the other day on an awful business show, which is not a business show. It's now a comedy show, which is The Apprentice. And somebody referred to somebody else that said they looked like Mr Motivator. It was a woman, which was really offensive. But it was the outfit. It was the outfit. Because the outfit looked identical. You know, you'd know the colours of Mr Motivator. You know, the pinks and the orange and the yellow. They were awful suits, but very memorable.
I loved him. He used to be on.
What was his real name again?
Derek Redmond, I think.
I think you're the only person who has ever known Mr Motivator as Derek.
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
There was a runner called Redmond as well, and there's also a football called Redmond.
Now, if I've got it wrong, I'll soon correct myself here. The power of Google, of course.
But the thing is, the fitness sort of industry in that area, in the sort of media circles, was very much limited to two things until like not that long ago. It was daytime TV and videotapes.
Yeah,
you know,
whenever you had the medium of being able to put it into people's houses, not live.
Yeah.
So videotape being one of the first ones, and one of the. I mean, I know we're talking about a lot of British fitness gurus of the day, but another massive one was whenever it was it Jane Fonda? Did she move from more so in the movies and acting into that, and it went absolutely huge. I can't remember what the series was called.
Fonda the Honda.
That's exactly what it was. That's bringing us back to jet skis, isn't it? Again, or motorbikes.
That was the spinning tapes back in the day with John McBlain. Was Rhonda the Honda?
Oh, John McBlain, a blast from the past.
I gotta say, I was thinking about this on the way here today, and actually, the one that always jumps to my head is like the fitness videotape that you saw in every house was Anthea Turner.
Oh yeah.
Do you remember? Every single one of my mates' mums had it.
Whenever you mention Anthea Turner, the only thing that I can remember about her now is her and her boyfriend Greg. buffet or something like that.
That's right, yeah.
And they brought a Cadbury's bar to their wedding and got a photograph of it because they were being paid by Cadbury's.
Wow.
And it was like, oh, interesting. It was before the hello stuff and all
It's
that,
a
which
tasty sponsorship, whatever.
oh,
way you look
I
at
like
it,
that pun,
you know.
like.
Eamon Holmes was a big fan of Anthea.
Oh, I thought it was Cadbury's.
Eamon Holmes was definitely not a big fan of Anthea. I think
Was he not?
No, there was no chemistry there whatsoever. He really did not. You know how Eamon, like, he doesn't mix his words if he.
Yeah, he says it like it is.
Yeah. Well, he's on record as not being particularly fond of Anthea. I don't know if it was over Cadbury's being at the wedding or what it was, but he wasn't a fan.
Well, whenever he's in doing his interview, his podcast for the Digital Circles, you can ask him about it.
I've met Big Eamon a couple of times. Shouldn't call him Big Eamon. That's not nice.
Well, he's quite tall, isn't he?
He's not small. But the first time I met him, I worked for Domino's Pizza and I was delivering a pizza to his house.
That's right.
And I'd taken the order on the phone and I thought, that's Eamon Holmes. I'm definitely delivering this. So ever the opportunist went to the house and he had ordered ice cream, but he'd ordered, I think it was Bailey's, Häagen-Dazs, and we didn't have any. So I tried to phone him back and couldn't get him. So I thought, right, I'll put like a selection of 3 in a bag and take it to him and see what one he wants or I'll refund him. So I went to the door and he answered the door and I said, look, sorry, we don't have any Bailey's ice cream left, but I've brought you a couple of replacements and I'd try and call you. He says, what have you brought me? I said, well, we've got vanilla, chocolate chip or cookies and cream. And he went, I don't like chocolate. I'll take vanilla.
The big one now, I'm not sure if you're aware of this, Paul. So listeners, Paul and I went to the same primary school for context here. And this would have been after your time. But Eamon's kids came to Downey, so it was a big day whenever they first came in and Eamon and/or his wife was coming to pick them up. I think everyone got a wee bit starstruck.
Oh.
Yeah, certainly speaking for myself.
Yeah.
Weak in the knees and flushed. You know?
Yeah, that's right. He lived not far from Downey, actually. Yeah.
What I quite like about Eamon is he's not afraid to say what he feels or what he means. He doesn't sugarcoat anything, like, apart from his ice cream.
I have to circle back and apologise because Derek Redmond is in fact a runner.
Yeah, I thought that.
He is called Derek.
Oh, that's at least something.
Derek Earl Evans.
Right.
So sorry about that, Mr Motivator. No, I used to love him because he was always on in the mornings and I was going to school and he was up and at it, always smiling, always getting you up for your day. And
he always had one of those.
Brightly coloured.
Did he have like a biker's hat?
He did. He always had like a wee funny hat on, which was always brightly coloured as well.
Peaked up, and
I
he
think
wore
so,
glasses, didn't he?
Yeah, full on like
Yeah.
neon type outfits. Great.
He had like a moustache and beard as well, hadn't he? Or definitely a moustache.
Definitely a moustache.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's got me thinking about some exercises that they say you should do to keep yourself fit, or at least give you a bit of an idea of how fit you are.
Okay.
Jet skiing.
Jet skiing's one.
Yep.
If you can, well, first of all, if you fall off a jet ski and can't get back on it, that's a good
It's a
sign.
good ending.
Yeah, I think your core
not
strength
ready
is
for
really
jet
lacking.
Yeah. You might want to work on your core there, big lad.
I actually work on not falling off as the first thing.
You're a 30-mile-an-hour jet skier, like.
Yeah.
No, if you sit cross-legged on the floor, then rise from the said sitting position only without using your knees, hands, forearms, or even the side of your leg for support. If you can do that, that's a good sign that you're in good condition.
I'm going to try this.
Go ahead.
Now?
Yeah.
All right.
Just exactly want to do it.
Hang on to turn the video on.
Hang on.
Excuse us, ladies and gentlemen, while Michael gets on into the downward dog position.
Just like that.
Like that, to stand up
Yeah,
without...
doing anything.
Need to play some supermarket music.
Oh, I tell you what. That's because you're younger than us.
Yeah.
He did it. He fell through the floor. He fell through the wall there, but he did it.
I would.
Great success.
I think I'd injure myself doing that.
I would just stay down there, to be honest. You bring me my lunch.
I probably should have.
Or push-up capacity. If you can do at least 40, that's a good sign you're in good condition.
In one sitting.
Yeah,
It's a bit of an ask, but it's
yeah,
Just about, I would have thought.
I think so.
Just.
On the hand grip test, they talk about that. There is a way of measuring that. You can get a.
is it back to jet skis again?
Well, I seen it done recently when I was in hospital with my dad actually. But they do a hand grip test to see your just how strong you still are. Yeah, yeah. And then things like how quickly you walk. So, but sleep's a big thing. They say that always comes back to you need to be getting at least 8 hours of sleep a night, which I frequently don't.
Sleep and water. I'm guilty. I just bought one of those, those ridiculously sized bottles with handles that you see people with in the gym.
Oh, I hate those.
And I just bought one.
Right. And actually, it's not so much. It's not so much the product that I hate. It's the person and the sentiment behind it. Because what it's saying is, look at me. I do this.
Oh no! Don't get me wrong. I bought it. I saw one in a shop and said, "Well, I'm going to get one of them," but I don't want to actually have someone see me buying it, so I bought it online instead.
Or use it. I get the sensible sentiment because it just measures it in one go. But I sort of say to people, like, you do realise you can refill that. Come on.
My daughter got one for school. It's huge. Like she only got it recently. It's massive, like this thing. It's bigger than her.
They hold like 2 litres or something, which is your average. But it's like, you can go back to the water fountain, people. Like,
but I don't need to.
You've saved 5 seconds. Yeah, your time. You're killing it on the time management front, Mike.
Well, talking of looking after yourself, obviously, fitness can be used to alleviate stress. Anything else that you guys do to alleviate stress? Is it a matter of chilling on the sofa watching TV, or is it something more active than that, other than jet skiing?
I'm a big getting into nature sort of a chap.
Go ahead, Sammy Wilson.
Just like that. No, but I do. I love it. Anytime. I once heard it said, if you are having a rotten day, ask yourself, have you gotten up and out of the house? Have you had a bit of nature? And have you done a bit of exercise? And if you haven't got, if you can answer no to any one of those, go and do it. And if you're still feeling rotten, then start taking it seriously.
Who was the nature man? And was it Ric Flair? Was he Nature Boy? Was that his nickname?
I thought you were going to say Bill Oddie.
Ric Flair, the wrestler?
Yeah. Was he not?
Was he Nature Boy?
I don't know. Woo! He used to do like a hand slap on your chest and go, woo! No, Robert Slickon was like, what? Big Daddy, do you remember him?
Yeah. Giant haystacks.
Yes. I'm pretty sure Ric Flair was Nature Boy, was his nickname.
I don't know.
You Google that as well, and make another apology in a couple of minutes. I'm going to be really rare and confess it. I like to do a wee bit of nature too, a wee bit of gardening.
Oh, stop it.
I do. I like to cut the grass and weed the floral the floral banks.
Floral fauna.
Weed the weeds, yeah. Take the weeds out of the roots.
It's a nice satisfying one when you look at it afterwards and the job's done, you can see it.
Yeah, I like a bit of that.
Yeah.
I like power hosing.
Yeah.
I'd power hose your face. Honestly, I love power hosing.
Please don't.
You stay in one place long enough, I will. But it's
you said that with such gusto. Like, I feel like you've thought about it.
That culture out there.
I think seeing the change if you're doing like a deck or a piece of wood or a driveway, it's maybe got moss on it or something, and you can see the change. It's very, very satisfying. And then whenever you look at your work, it's like, it's all clean now. But you always, I don't know what it is about power washing, is you always overdo it. Right? It's like you'll go to do the driveway and 2 hours later you still got it, and now you're doing the guttering or you've blown the roof off your house, and you just keep on going and going and going. It's it's very addictive.
It's like the Pringles version of
house maintenance.
Yes. Ric Flair is Nature Boy, by the way.
Oh, you go.
If you go onto Instagram, he's actually Ric Flair Nature Boy.
Good stuff.
I like a walk as well. Maybe not so much like the gardening element of it, but
Cook
a walk in
a
what?
Cook noodles in it.
Yeah. More a walk in a park. I'm not great with walking without a bit of purpose, if that makes any sense. It's like I couldn't do it on like a treadmill. I would just destroy me. There has to be some sort of progression
Yeah.
where you can walk. And weirdly, I like it to be in some sort of circle. You know, I don't like walking to a place and then walking back the same the same path.
Retreading the same stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's weird.
You start at the front door of your caravan and do a circle round to the front door
It's perfect.
with a power hose.
And then so you're getting a lot. That's time management. I think as well, weirdly, another thing is a bit of a digital detox.
Oh, big time.
Even if that's just micro or macro. You know, macro, unfortunately, nowadays being a day is macro. I am going to do pretty much a bit of a week of it soon, but micro, an hour or two. Put the phone away from you, because this not even so much like what people would talk about, like the waves and stuff. Although I'm sure that's part of it.
Yeah.
But just the distraction. You know, it distracts you. They talk about second screen syndrome, where even if you're sitting down watching a bit of telly, which also I think is a good stress relief. You know, if you want to take yourself out of something and immerse yourself in something that doesn't matter. You know, if you're watching a TV series or a movie, the movie doesn't matter. But taking yourself away, but definitely getting away from that telephone.
Yeah.
Speaking of telly, anything you're watching at the moment?
We went on a bit of a binge the other night and we watched Baby Reindeer in one sitting.
Did you watch that?
Yes.
Jeez.
In one sitting.
I wasn't sure if that would be up your street.
That's
a lot of darkness for one sitting,
Yeah,
surely.
we were looking. I'm trying to think what we just finished. We just finished one series, and then it was like we were looking for something, and it was one of the ones that was kind of recommended. And I said, "What about that?" And then Suzanne said, "Oh yeah, people have been talking about that. Let's watch it."
No wonder.
So we started at about 7. It was at a weekend. We were up in Portrush, and it was like we didn't have anything to do the next day, so the night was our own, so to speak. And we started into it. It's very gripping, so it's very much a next, but in one sitting. I was glad to get the dark. I know you said about the amount of darkness in one sitting, but it was good to get it out of the road in one sitting. I think doing it over multiple nights could even be more harrowing.
See, I just caught a few clips of it on Gogglebox and instantly decided, not for me, basically.
I was like you. I watched the whole thing in one
Go.
sitting. Yeah. And I didn't actually know. I hadn't read what it was about. So
Neither did I.
Yeah.
I actually thought it was more going to be the two main characters, you know, Donnie and Martha. I thought it was going to be very much centered around them and their relationship.
She was brilliant.
She was really good. The actress is tremendous in it. She was really, really
Oh,
good.
don't get me wrong. Me saying not for me, not to take away from it. Everyone's going crazy for it. I think my brain's only got capacity for things that leave me feeling brilliant afterwards these days.
Well, in that case, don't watch Don't F with Cats.
Oh yeah, I did
Jeez.
see that actually.
Oh, did you?
Not good, yeah,
that
not
would
good,
destroy you, Mike. But
That was good.
Come Back Baby Reindeer, it was like, yeah, there was a lot of external to that relationship of those two. It was quite a lot.
It was quite light,
What part?
quite dark at the same time. There was, jovial. Obviously, it was quite funny. In
Yeah, but
places.
5 minutes per episode was jovial.
That's all you need.
Is this Paul's No Mean Jest review?
All I'll say is the title is it's a little bit well, it's not on the money. Baby Reindeer makes it sound sort of cute and fluffy. It's definitely not cute and fluffy.
Another one, so obviously finished that, we started into Extrapolation. Quite interesting. It's a series of 8 interlinking stories throughout time about climate and kind of what happens and this, that and the other. So I've got about 2 done so far.
What about you, Vega? Anything that you're really loving at the minute?
There is actually. Well, I was just getting back into something. We love Blue Lights. Season 1 was absolutely brilliant.
Sorry, we did watch that.
Yeah,
It was
now we've only seen the first episode of season 2 so far because I'm
very, very, very good.
waiting to get going. But
You haven't got to the bit with your Mondays yet, then.
I mean,
Only wait, yeah.
No,
Will
so,
they all die in the end?
so we got that.
It's all a dream. Oh no, that's lost.
I gotta say, it was a great start for the season. Obviously, you miss Richard Dormer. From
Yeah,
the
he
first
was
one.
so good. In the
so
film.
so.
Yeah,
Do you know
was
what's
brilliant.
Do you know what's really weird about that? Well, I certainly find it weird because it's shot in Belfast. So therefore,
Isn't everything?
Well, not so much anymore.
Things are
you mean
frequently
TV
shot in
shows?
Belfast, yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot now because of all the business, which is fantastic to see. Having a lot of leftovers, especially from the shipyard and stuff. Those big hangars are fantastic for shooting stuff in. But whenever you see the footage, especially like in cars or if they're walking, and you go, how did they get from there to there so quickly? Now, people who are not from here you will not recognize it, but it's like, no, they were in the east of the city, and then within seconds they're in the north of the city. How does this work?
Did you, by any chance, spot what the pub was?
Yes.
You guys
Yeah,
are
yeah.
both East Belfast.
Cock and Hens.
Cock and Hens, and I saw an article in, I think it was the Telegraph, yesterday, which is that instantly the show comes out and they put it up for sale.
Oh,
Which is a smart enough move, really, if you think about it.
Well, maybe Ballybean Community Centre will be up for sale soon then, because that is in it as well.
that's Rob McCreary used to play for Glentoran, owns the Cock and Hens.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, famously, notoriously, really hard footballer. And back in the day, was
I think
sort
that
of a tough player. Yeah.
That family were
Yeah.
all hard players.
Yeah.
Obviously, I know Dee is a family member, but maybe cousin or something like that. Dee McCreary, Northern Ireland International. He was hard too, like
Yeah.
small but mighty.
Yeah, I've been in it. But
It's got the look of a pub,
yeah.
which was owned by a hard man,
Well,
to
yeah.
be honest.
I was laughing because the Bomb Parade, I mean, they were very quick marchers because they started off in Lord Street and they were in Pollybean within about 30 seconds.
Yeah, it was Tullycarnet actually.
Was it?
Yeah, Tullycarnet was the marching, but yeah, they were very fast.
Yeah. I played them. But,
But a great show.
Brilliant. I'm looking forward to the rest of it now.
Don't forget, for your chance to win fantastic prizes from our rolling monthly competition, just head on over to digitalcircles.click/give or follow the link in the description.
the TripAdvisor Traveller's Choice Hotel Awards came out the other day, and we've a few local businesses on it. We like to big up local business. There's two here I didn't know of, haven't heard of them, who fit into the small boutique hotel category. The Harrison came 16th. I knew you would know that.
Oh, aye. Harrison's quite near me.
It
It's,
would be close to you.
yeah, it's
Expand.
class, is the simplest way of putting it.
Where's that?
So, do you know where the Bot and the Egg are?
Yes.
On the Malone Road. Just sort of slightly out of town there by a handful of doors. And
For
there's
the
a row
listeners,
of,
we are talking about Belfast.
we are talking about there's a big row of lovely townhouses there, and it's built into one or two of those. Beautiful boutique hotel. Well, like every room is different. I may or may not be right about this, but there's a restaurant Blank, which I believe is owned by the same people, but it is sort of adjoined to it. And Blank is a very sort of fancy taster menu, sort of a restaurant. And it's stunning place.
Just to mention, the other hotel from here that got on that list was actually in the not the small boutique section, but the hotel section. And it's one I've stayed in. It's a lovely hotel called Bishopsgate in Londonderry stroke Maiden City. Really,
Very good.
really nice hotel.
Bishopsgate. Is it in the
Just,
town?
just down from, what do you call it, the Diamond. It's just down
Oh,
from
right,
that a
okay.
wee
So it's
bit.
pretty central then?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, let's do a really good breakfast again. Are we talking about food again? Yes, we are.
Stop.
Okay. And I read there's a B&B in Dublin, and I thought this was a great idea. They have a WhatsApp service to your room.
That is good.
Interestingly, I've seen the app of Virgin Voyages, and it's tremendous. It's kind of along that line. I know it's not a hotel, but you've got a room on in a building, a ship, and there's nothing that you can't order through that app. And it goes into even down to like food and stuff, where you can be sitting in your room and you can order. It's almost like a Just Eat, but it's on their app. It's a very clever idea to have some form of that, and especially now with every single person having a mobile phone. I think businesses have got to really start cluing into this. Like, that could be a hotel, it could be a retail store, it could be a gym, it could be services. You've got somebody, or a lot of people, that have entered your building with a supercomputer in their pocket. You don't need to offer things in store if you can beam them in inverted commas or QR code them to that phone, and that person now has information, whether it's reading, whether it is audio, whether it is video, whether it is whatever. It's got checkout capabilities, you can make payments. That thing, every single customer going into your store or service now has a supercomputer in their pocket.
Well, even right down to, I was the other week there, I was chatting to you guys about the 30 plus club at the Limelight, and that was how you did. That's how you did requests. That's how you did requests for the music.
Now you've said that, when you did that wee fitness thing a minute ago, when you were getting up off your hunkers on, is that what everybody does in the 30 plus club, the Limelight? Do you get down and do the hokey cokey? And
I'm the only one who can do that in the 30 plus club.
That's like your ticket in. If you can't do that, you're not allowed in.
You'd be taking your fish oil tablets, cod liver oils.
But I think it's brilliant, because the likes of, you could see that progress, and it will take away queues at bars. It will take away queues at different things. It will give more information about services and offers or whatever, that businesses had to kind of use their walls, their placemats, their coasters, their pop-ups on the bar or wherever it may be, to publicise what's available. Whenever, like I said, every single person in the room has got an endless amount of pages, videos, audios, to find out what that is.
Well, I heard a good life hack there the other day. If you're someone who frequents Cafe Nero, and that is to use their app. There's a buddy of mine, we were sat, and I got up to go and get into the queue. He goes, "What are you doing? You don't need the queue here." I was like, "What are you talking about?" And he went on his phone, pulled out the app, did click and collect from the table. And just whenever he saw the order ready, up he went.
Big fitness fan, is he?
Aye.
Active sort of guy.
Yeah. He's a customer of Johnny's.
Yeah, well, we'll wrap it up here shortly, but we'll have to do it because you always do it. Local businesses. You've tried? Got any?
I was at Montalto, sort of a family-related one. I was at Montalto Estate this weekend, and it was phenomenal. Gorgeous big place, really good facilities, like cafes and all that sort of biz. And then just everything seemed to be catered to, like, giving your kids a good day, and also weddings, apparently.
Where is it?
Ballinhinch.
Oh.
Really, really great.
Okay.
Well, mine's going to be a much bigger company. Most of the time I would talk about more local, smaller stuff, but I think, especially for businesses, I've had a year of frequenting the SSA Arena, being mostly in terms of hockey and different events, but I think what they're providing there, it's obviously the premier venue in Northern Ireland, and I think from a business point of view, businesses should be looking at that. And the amount of people that go to that arena to enjoy themselves, they can watch sport, they can watch comedians that we've been talking about, or international acts having a great evening. Well, we've been going there all year, and I must say the staff, and certainly inside the arena, not so much the door staff, they're a different breed. They're definitely a different breed.
No comment on a few of them.
when you're inside, staff and services are absolutely fantastic, and I think businesses out there should just be looking at what's available. They should be looking to see, what can I do to improve my business? What can I be doing to change the way that I'm doing my business, or I'm operating my business? Like we're talking about the supercomputer in every customer's pocket. I think that's another thing to be looking at.
Well, you say it's Northern Ireland's premier venue, but I would say the Cock and Hens just slightly takes that mantle. Though I would say too quickly, nobody will be surprised, food related, they're right beside each other, so it makes it sound like I went into one and had something to eat and then came out and went to the other one.
Makes it sound like that, does it, Paul?
The Bearded Goat in Bangor, very local to me now, but it's very small, but wow, the food is unreal. They do some great breakfast type food, lunch, all that.
Pub
gear.
grub.
Not so much, more sort of like a cafe, but they do, sourdough and all that sort of stuff, but they put a bit of a twist on it.
Bit of effort.
Yeah, but so it's like, it's really good. Really lovely, really, really tasty.
I really enjoy it whenever, especially a local place puts in a little bit of effort and they're not just serving with the same thing over and over again. It's like, no, let's put a bit of effort in here and charge for it and make it sustainable.
Yeah, they do stuff like, it's like smashed avocado, but with peanut butter and chili and all this stuff on poached eggs. Oh, it's good.
Speaking my language.
Yeah, and then you come straight out of there and you go to Tuk Tuk or Tuk Tuk, depends whereabouts you're from.
East or south.
Yeah, and it's just up the street. They've one in Ards as well. They used to have one in Grey Abbey, but it's Tuk Tuk Thai food.
Fantastic. I've been there a couple of years ago and it's brilliant. It's really clean. That sort of, I guess you call it Asian fusion, because they do different types of food from around that locale, but it's great, isn't it?
Yeah, really, really tasty. And I think the proprietor is welcoming himself onto the show soon, because I had a little word with him. So he's going to come on and talk about Thai cuisine and Asian cuisine. So
Brilliant.
Yep.
Great segue.
Absolutely. Well, anyway, thank you so much once again, guys. Our resident guests, Mike, Robert. Appreciate it. And we will circle back in another couple of weeks and we'll talk about our guest who we've had on since. So thanks once again, and we'll speak to you soon.